Hello and good morning. It is Tuesday morning, the first day of the week. If you are, so I'm just adjusting my camera here a little. If you are just getting back to work, congratulations. I'm sure a lot of people are very happy about that. Came on a minute early today because, well, I got some stuff I want to say. Been up for a while, obviously caffeinated. You can tell because I always talk faster. I wanted to expand on what we talked about yesterday, negative self-talk. How important it is to encourage yourself. But good morning, Joanne. But let's talk about the dark night of the soul first, because thanks, Kimmy. Good morning, Charmaine. I don't think we can properly or adequately explain mental processes and how important positive self-talk is until we talk about the dark soul of the dark night of the soul and how bad it can get. So one of the most commonly used phrases I hear when people are not, good morning, Tammy, when people are not at their peak is the word depression. I think that's a misnomer. And here's why. Let me qualify the statement. Are there people that are clinically depressed? Absolutely. There are some people who need to be on medication because they're not functioning the way that the brain should be functioning. But what I've learned with neurolinguistics programming is that the body has physiological responses to words and tonality. And, you know what, let me qualify that further by saying, if you've ever heard a statement said one way and a separate way, but the same statement, like, what's the matter with you? Versus, what's the matter with you? Each of those has a different physiological response in the body. One can set you to anger, and one can set you to tears for completely different reasons, same words. So the power of the words and the power of the tonality have a chemical that releases from the brain, and that dictates how somebody feels. So when I say I don't believe depression is as prevalent as we make it out to be, I will say because, good morning, Davey. I will say that because I've been there. It amazes me. I was thinking about it yesterday when I got off of doing the broadcast yesterday, how I've been able to do this every single day for over 2 months. I haven't missed a day. I haven't been more than a minute or so late. And how it's just become a part of what I'm doing. Now, it's not because I'm amazing, but it's because I actually made it a part of what I'm doing. I remember a time back when my mom passed away in 2013 when I couldn't make a pot of coffee. I know that sounds weird, but it was because I was aware of my mental processes at the time, and I'm very thankful for all of the education I'd had up until that point. I was very aware of all the steps that it took to make a pot of coffee. Now I drink a French press. I'm a little snooty about my coffee. That's really the only thing. Where I have to put the pot on to boil, I have to rinse the French press out. I have to grind the beans, then I have to put the ground beans in the press. Then I have to pour the water in. Then I have to press it, and then I finally get a cup of coffee. That process was too much for me to handle. I can remember standing at the sink some mornings when I was in that terrible place and just staring at it and thinking, this is far too much work. I don't know if I can handle it. And it seemed as though the things that had more layers to them or more steps were the hardest for me to do. Oh, that's amazing, Kimmy. Hired her new barista. I actually just commented Kimmy's selling lobster dinners for $15 out in 2 lobster tails, I believe, out in the East Coast. Congratulations. Kimmy's been inspired by this to open a second restaurant, which is just amazing. I love you, Kimmy. Anyhow, talking about how that progresses. We'll get more into the positive self-talk. I ran out of time again today. I'm going to have to start coming on earlier. But really understanding that those steps and breaking down things into steps either complicated or simplified things. When I was looking at having the whole coffee, the steps didn't seem like that big of a deal because I wanted a coffee and I was able to get through those steps. But I remember the feeling of helplessness or lack of power in the beginning because I was so depressed about something else that I didn't feel I had the energy to go through those steps. So I had to focus on the bigger goal of having a pot of coffee in order to get through it. And we'll talk more about that. It really ties in. There was so much I wanted to say this morning. Geez, it really ties into, I've been doing my morning runs and all of that stuff. Anyhow, it's 9 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to your feet. Let your voices ring out in unison. And I still have not heard another voice in this neighborhood singing, Mikey Chrysler, I'm looking at you, or the family. I'm good with the kids. It's Tuesday. It's the start of the week. Things are opening back up. Don't know if it's the right decision or wrong decision, but it is a decision. Let's celebrate the fact that we're all alive and having a fantastic day with our national anthem. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Sorry, itchy nose. Allergies are killing me. What I will say about that, just to add on, it's funny how your mind races while you're singing, and then it's hard to actually put those things into words afterwards. If you're going through a tough time, focus on little things. When I first got into sales, I remember I'd have made a promise or commitment to myself to make 10 calls a day. I would go, good morning, Lois. I would definitely fail at those calls a lot of times. But what I found was it was more powerful to make all 10 calls and fail. I've got somebody requesting to be in the video. Sure, why not? This would be interesting, but it was better to fail at all 10 calls than to cut myself short and only make a few of those calls. So keep your commitments to yourself. They have power. I don't know what happened there. Hello, Thima? I'm not sure how that goes. Anyhow, if you've made a commitment to yourself to do something, do it. It's better to start it and fail than to give up on it. You will eat yourself alive for giving up on it mentally, but you will, if you failed through it, feel so much better about yourself. There is a sense of accomplishment in that and a sense of pride that comes from it. So whatever it is, if you've made a commitment, keep it to yourself. Not keep it to yourself, declare it to the world, but keep your commitments to yourself, because those commitments will empower you more and more every day and have a compounding effect. We'll get more into this week. Have a fantastic day. Whatever you're doing today, do it to the best of your abilities and do it with a great attitude, an attitude of gratitude, as they say. Spend a couple of minutes just being grateful that you woke up today. Anyhow, I love you. Have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow morning at 8:55 a.m.-ish. Might come on a few minutes early because there's so much I want to say. Anyhow, have a fantastic day. I love you. Thank you for joining. And remember, until tomorrow, during all of this, no matter what you're doing, every single voice counts. And I need to hear you. Talk to you soon.